Yeah, Among Us is a little bit of a special game to me. I don't play it anymore. I think it's a kid's game now. But at one point in my life, I was terminally addicted to that game. I was the best Among Us player this side of the Mississippi, I'd wager. I had all the strats. I would sit at work just waiting to go home to play Fortnite. Or sorry, to play Among Us. Because I was so good at it and I was so confident in my abilities. That it just gave me so much gratification. I was playing with and I wasn't just playing with random lobbies. So I was on a Discord server, and it was a 18 plus Discord server. So you actually had to verify with an ID in order to get access to the server. Yeah. And this was so that we didn't want to play with kids. Yeah. Who wants to play games with a squeaker who's going to get upset, and cry after you kill him, and he's just going to tell everybody who killed him. Yeah. Because you really rely on the honor system because you have to stay muted if you're dead. A lot of people would ruin it that way. So I was playing on there. I wasn't just playing with kids. I was playing with real adults. I got into a kind of like a clique on the Discord server. There's probably like 5,000 to 10,000 people on there, but I was one of the most active members there, and I got into a clique with people. Would play with them every single night. We had a group of like 20 to 25 people. So whoever's on at the time, we'd have a group of 10 at all times. Mm-hmm. And one of those people, her in-game name was Malfoy, like from Harry Potter, because she was a big fan of Malfoy. And she kind of caught my interest, early on. We played a lot together, and at one point I think we did like movie watch parties or something in the Discord server where people got on cam. And I was like, wow, this girl's kind of pretty cute. So I kind of started chatting up with her in the DMs, slid in a little bit, and asked her, I think, if she wanted to watch, the show that we first watched together was The Queen's Gambit, because I was really into chess at the time. Uh-huh. I was like a 1500 chess amateur, no big deal or anything.
Small flex. That's actually a decent.
Small flex.
That's a decent rating.
Peak was 1700 on League Chess. But, anyways, so a little side note there. So we watched The Queen's Gambit. We started DMing more and more, getting to know each other, playing more, and we kind of realized after like a few weeks or so that we both had grown fond of each other. And it was a lot of work for me because she really was not putting in any work. Like I would try to initiate conversation and she'd be like, "Yeah, okay,
the worst,
sure." She really made me work for it. Like I'd be like, "Hey, do you want to watch a movie?" And she'd be like, "Okay," and I'd be like, "What do you want to watch?" And she'd be like, "I don't know," And it was just like, can you get I had to try so hard. And I wish I could I should probably delete the messages on Discord because we've gone back and looked at them and they're so cringe. Yeah. But anyway, after the first month or so, we kind of realized that we wanted to get to know each other a little bit better. And there is a phenomenon on Discord and the internet that I'm sure is becoming a lot more popular these days called e-dating, where people enter into a romantic relationship all the way across the world from each other. And a lot of the times they actually have no intentions of really meeting each other. It's kind of like just two lonely people on the internet, go fond of each other and just want to have someone to talk to throughout the day. And I had, steered away from that on my few years on Discord. I'd seen a lot of people doing it. It didn't really end up well for like 99% of the people that I saw that were doing it. So I never really looked into that or tried to branch out with anybody on that until I met her. And I was like, hey, maybe this is something that, I should go, a little bit further into and maybe go out and meet her. And it just so happened that her dad got on camera one day while we were on call, and he told me, he's like, hey, he's like, you're the guy that's been talking to my daughter, stealing her attention for like the last month. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. And he's like, yeah, he's like, I've got a lot of extra rooms in my house. He's like, you should come take one. And I'm like, oh, are you serious? Like, are you for real? And he was like, yeah, and I didn't really think much of it. I was like, this guy's probably, full of it. There's no way he's just going to let some creep, that he doesn't know come all the way across the world and move in with him for a little bit. And she lives, she was from Indonesia. I don't think I mentioned yet. So
no, I was gonna say.
Almost as far as you could go from Ohio is Indonesia. I think the furthest place you could actually go is Australia, but Indonesia is the second. Yeah. So as far as I could go, just about. Well, a few weeks down the road, I was like, well, was your dad actually serious about that? Would I be able to come visit? Because I could pay for a plane ticket, but I don't want to have to pay for housing out there. And she said, yeah, he was completely dead serious. So I started looking, at my options, and I thought about it long and hard, and I'm like, this is a girl that I think is actually worth it. As cliche as it sounds, she's not like other girls.